Hello everybody, we hope you've had a good day. We've had a good day, haven't we?
Yes.
Oh, so enthusiastic. It's a beautiful day outside, isn't it?
We just brought the dogs for a walk.
Well, I didn't.
I
You
did.
did. Yeah, because I'm still in isolation.
But not by
so
myself.
should you. No, just you and your daddy, wasn't it?
And my
Yeah.
dog.
And you didn't see anybody, did you?
We did.
Did
Some
you?
from our school.
And did you keep away from them?
Yeah, Daddy talked to them and then, we saw two people from my school. One in my class and another person who's in year 6.
Did you? You didn't. You stayed about 2 meters away, did you?
About 10.
About 10 meters. Wow. Well, at least you can see people, but you must keep your distance. And when you come in, you have to wash your hands, don't you? Hey? Right. Okay, so that's all the safety things out the way. Today, we're going to be talking about God's promises. Okay, now, we have a little bit of a story, don't we, which we did. We went to Clacton one day. It was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it was pouring down with rain, wasn't it?
And chucking it down.
It was.
And the windscreen wipers went like this.
They did. They were so fast, weren't they? Do you know when it goes like this so fast, you can hardly see the road in front of you? That's how bad it was. But then when we drove into the Stanway, the sun came out, didn't it?
It's like this bright outside.
Yeah. But then, as we were coming near the church, what did we see?
A rainbow over the church.
It was amazing. And it was a beautiful arch and it was bright and the colours were so vivid. I've never seen a rainbow like it. It was amazing.
Like the rainbow was the colours were so bright that it was like the sun.
It was amazing, wasn't it? You'd think it had been painted up there. So that's some of the things that we've been doing today. So we've got our activity book, and look, just a shout out for our little bookmark, which we're going to show you how to do. So we put the bookmark on the page about Noah. So you've got a word search there, which you can do. But also we're going to show you how to do these wonderful bookmarks. Okay, just out of pieces of paper, and we can do these together. But it stops your books getting all messed up.
And we made this one out of straws.
That's right, because what we don't want to do is we want to try and recycle as much plastic as possible,
We've
don't
got
we?
a billion straws that we never use.
So if anybody wants any, get your parents just to give me a little text, and maybe I'll put I'll put some of these straws. Maybe we'll put them in a little bag, and then maybe someone can collect them. We'll put them in a special place or something, or maybe if someone's coming out, whatever. But if you want to make one of these, all we do is we cover this in greaseproof paper, and then we iron it, and that's how it comes out. But how cool are those? But then it will last for ages, won't it?
Yeah, but the cloud will get dirty.
That's right. Also, got a little bit of a competition. We have God Keeps His Promises colouring in page. Now, as you can see, if I put it close, that is our church.
I'm not doing it though because I already did it.
You did, didn't you?
But I didn't actually do it, but I just coloured it in.
If you can colour all of these in really nicely and don't go over the lines, maybe you could get your parents to take a photo, and then, or maybe when we all go back to church, they could be stuck in the window. Or maybe if someone goes there, whatever. We can think about.
People put rainbows in the windows.
People do put rainbows in the windows, don't they? Some of your friends have done that, haven't they?
They do.
It's sort of connecting us all together, isn't it? But this is nice because this is our church. Okay, the other thing what we've been doing, we are nearly on the next stage because it's still a little bit wet.
It's not that wet.
It is a little bit wet. Look, I'll just feel it's damp, so we can't do it yet.
Oh, it's hard damp.
It's getting hard. Look. So we got our balloon, and then we covered it in the paper mache. So a big shout out to Helen and Jean because they gave us this idea, which is amazing. So thank you for this. What we're going to do, we are going to be painting this to look like the
world. But you can do it in any different.
I think you want to do yours in pink, a pink world, don't you? So
Pink
Rebecca's
and
world. If Rebecca could have her world, her world would be pink and purple, wouldn't it?
Or yellow.
Or yellow. Okay.
Because
It's supposed to have colours which complement.
Blue, green, and yellow are in the world.
That reminds me of the song which we could do. So if you haven't done your paper mache world, get that done so we can paint that together. And I want to see all your creations of that too. But will you help me do a little bit of a sing? Let's see if I've got it on here.
Here's-
Oh, I have.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, before we do this, look, and can you see my rainbow coloured top? This was the most
Oh, I've
rainbow
got one
I've...
too.
You've got a... Oh, yes, rainbows. Okay, so we've got some signs to do for this. Okay, so this is probably more for the younger ones, but you older ones can join in too.
I didn't know that.
Well, copy me then and I can teach you. Red. Can you do that? Red. Like red for lipstick. That's how you can remember that. Red. And yellow. Like yellow. Yellow. And pink. Okay.
Like blush.
And then green. Green. It's like a bit like a green. And then we've got purple. Can you guess what orange could be? Orange. Orange.
Like a tiger.
Orange. Oh, it could be. Orange. And then blue. Now, if you look, because I've got really old hands and
Like
horrible.
a waterfall.
No, it's like the blue vein. It could be like a waterfall, but it's like a
I don't
blue
have
vein on the back.
veins.
You don't have veins. You have got veins, but yours aren't old and sticking out like mine. Oh, yeah, that's cool. So, blue. That's how I can remember it. Oh, that's a really good analogy. A waterfall. So it could be water coming off. So should we have a go at singing that? If you know the words, sing along with me. And Rebecca. Are we ready? I don't know how long this will take to come on. It's buffering, look.
Red.
It's just the backing sound. Oh, should we turn it up a little bit? Just so we've got some, drown out our voices a bit. Taking a while. Ooh. We know this. Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. I can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. So just as a reminder of that, it goes red and yellow and pink
Look at this.
and green and purple and orange and blue. Can you do that with me again? Red and yellow and pink and green and purple and orange and blue. Should we sing it again? Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. I can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. And I think John is going to do an object lesson. Da, da, da. And then we'll be back to show you how to do a little bit of a craft, but also maybe Norm can come, because I know Norm's got some really exciting things that he wants to tell you.
Paula brought Norm over from church today.
She did. But she had to hold him at a big distance, didn't she? Yeah.
Did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So she held him on a stick and dropped him in on the front door. So thank you for that, Paula Goddard.
She put it in a suitcase.
She did. On the end of a stick, so we didn't touch. See you soon.
Hi guys, it's John from Stanway Evangelical Church in Colchester. I'm part of the youth setup, and today I'd like to share a little bit about the promises of God. So we have a God that promises never to let us down. And from the Old Testament all the way through to the New Testament, those promises are there, written down, and it's just amazing really. As I say, all the way through, those promises are yes and amen. 1 Chronicles 16:34, which is in the Old Testament, says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, and his love endures forever." Psalm 100 verse 5, again, which is in the Old Testament, "The Lord is good, and his love endures forever, and his faithfulness continues throughout the generations. Now that's a great promise, that we know that God's faithfulness will be right the way from the Old Testament right the way through to the New Testament. In the New Testament, in the book of John 14:27, God says, I give you my peace. Now that should be enough, but it isn't. Because in the Bible also it says, do not fear. But that says around 366 times in the Bible, do not fear. But we do fear. We can't help but fear sometimes. But God's promises, as I said earlier, are yes and amen. God will never let us down, because God gave his Son, Jesus Christ, who died on a cross and shed his blood for our salvation. That's God's promise, because he promised his Son. And I tried to think how I could relate that for you guys today, and it's a bit like a cheque. So when you write a cheque out, you sign at the bottom, and because you've signed it, whatever you've wrote the amount on the cheque, you promise to pay the person that amount of money. That's what you promise. But we're imperfect sometimes, and sometimes we don't have the funds in our account, so the cheque doesn't pay out, even though we've signed it. But see, God's promises are yes. And it's like when God sent Jesus to us and he died on the cross, it's like Jesus' name is on that cheque. But see, God has the money, has the funds, because it's already paid. See, our promises are just words. And when you say, oh, I'll promise to tidy up, or I promise to do the washing up, I promise I won't be late, I promise I'll walk the dog, or just little promises like that, we even let them down because we're not perfect. And how often have you promised something and not fulfilled on that promise? It's because we start from shaky ground, because we're not perfect. And but God is perfect. Jesus was perfect. And I'd just like to try and show you a little bit of, through this little illustration here, of what that actually means, of why God will never let us down. So these two orange balls here represent us as people who make promises. And this board here is the promise. If I can just get it to balance. So there you go. So I've now, underneath there is whoever's done it has made a promise, and the promise is there. And this yellow ball represents the person who the promise is to. So if I put it on this board, oops, I'll try and keep it steady. See, everywhere I put it, it wants to keep falling off, because the promises are all on shaky ground. But if I add this ball underneath, which represents Jesus, and that's us, that's the promise of salvation. That's the promise God gives us. And in Romans 10:9, it says, if you declare with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved and you will have eternal life. So that's the end, guys. So thank you for watching. I'm just going to come and turn off, and perhaps see you tomorrow.
Okay, so we're going to start off by making these little corner bookmarks. They're really cute. Now, you can just draw these, but for quickness, I have just printed these off. So I've got one like this. I've got a square piece of card. You can use paper though. It's really not a problem, so I'm just going to cut this out. But you can, like I say, draw these out and then stick them on. They don't have to all be printed out, but I've just done this for ease, but also because a lot of our pens have run out now. We've had quite a busy week colouring and doing things, so I couldn't quite do all the colours of the rainbow. Okay, so I have one of these, I have one of these, and I have a square piece of paper. Now you could use bigger paper, but I quite like the smaller ones. They're nice just for the corners of your books. Okay, so you start off by turning it diagonally in half, undoing, turn the other way diagonally in half, and open up again. Okay, then what we need to do is we turn this like that. Okay, so if you can see that, that's really good. And then what we do, open it up again. So you've got the crease there and the crease there. These corners you turn up, so it makes a smaller square. So it should look like that then. But then you open it up again, okay? Flip this one down here, okay? So then you've got these two bits which we had. That one goes up, okay? Bend this one back, and then put that one up, and bend this one back, okay? Then what we're gonna do is just flip them over so that they tuck in to this little flap here. Can you see that? I hope you can. There we go. Okay, so you've got like a little pocket there. So we do that. And then you can use glue or sellotape or whatever you like. So I'm just using glue dots because they're easier. Just stick that onto the back of the little cloud and put him on there. So cute. And then the rainbow goes behind. So we do it like that, if you can see that. So let me just put a couple of the stickers on the back of here. That's it. Really simple to use these glue dots. It's just whatever we've got, so we don't have to go out the house really. And then just place it on here how you would like it to go. So I'm just going to put it on here like this. Stick that down. Look, I've got a glue dot on here. That can go over there. And then just the excess here, we're just going to cut them off like that and like that. So again, with the rainbow, we could have coloured that in, but you can use loads and loads of different designs. And there you go. You have your little, cool, isn't it? Okay, the next one we're going to do, okay, is this little one. So again, I've just cut this little cloud out from something which I printed off the internet. But this is just normal straws. So what we did, I got some greaseproof paper, and then very, very carefully, obviously we did the song earlier, red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. So red and yellow and pink and green and purple and orange and blue. If you haven't got these, please don't worry about it. But you get the idea. If you've just got some straws, any straws, then what you can do is just put them all together like this. With these, I cut off the ends here. But first of all, you close that over, make sure they're all tightly together, and then get your parents with a very hot iron to just iron over here. And then you flip it over, iron the other side, okay, then leave it to cool. Okay, so I'll put that one to the side, and here's another one which I made earlier. So we just do that. Again, I'm just going to cut out one of these very, very quickly. Do you know what? It's absolutely amazing. Just looking at all of God's promises, there are absolutely thousands in the Bible, but do you know what? God, when he makes a promise, he keeps his promise. I know sometimes when we make promises, sometimes we have good intentions, but sometimes because of life, we can't always keep our promises, which is very, very sad. But I'm going to speak to you because we've got Norm coming in a minute. I'm going to be speaking to you in a minute to tell you about if we make a promise, let's stick to it. And if you want to say something and you want to give a promise, if you can't keep it, don't say it at all. There we go. And how cute is that? And it's recycling, and we don't need to use these plastic straws anymore.
Oh, hello, my name is Rebecca, and this is my friend Norm.
Hello everybody! We have got some really exciting stuff to tell you about today. Haven't we, Rebecca? Rebecca,
Yes.
who are we going to be talking about today? She's not talking to me.
Noah.
Noah, Noah. Do you know that song?
What about this song?
Go on then.
The animals went in one by one. Hurrah.
One by one?
No,
The animals didn't go in by one by one.
The animals went in two by two. Hurrah!
Hurrah! Hurrah!
The animals went in two by two. Hurrah!
Hurrah!
The animals went
Okay,
in
stop,
two by two.
stop, because Miss Ella has told us that we can't chat too much because we've got so much to get through.
The elephant.
Okay, listen. Okay, first book in the Bible is Genesis. And in Genesis that tells us all about Noah. And he had to build what? What did he have to build?
Yeah.
That's right, he had to build an ark because God told him that a flood was coming. And you know what? Noah took his family into the ark and 2 of every type of animal. Wowzers, that's amazing. Do you know what? When it rains here, what do we put on so we don't get wet?
Umbrella and hood.
Yes, because we want to be protected, don't we? Because we don't want to go out there and get all soaking wet. We're all in isolation now. And if we do have to go outside, it's good to protect ourselves. When we come back in, we should wash our hands, shouldn't we, Rebecca?
Yeah.
We said before, make sure you're doing for the correct amount of time. Sing happy birthday to you, squash tomatoes and stew, blah, 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 blah. And do that twice. There's other ways we can protect ourselves and others too, isn't there, Rebecca? By not going outside. Anyway, let's go back to the story. Let's pretend it's been raining so hard, Rebecca, all week long that you couldn't go outside at all. Not even to go to school, not even to visit friends or family, not going outside at all. How would that feel?
No one even is going to school, just saying.
What?
All of the teachers have said.
Wow, it's really like we're all sitting in our own little arks. Noah and his family couldn't even go on the deck of the boat because it was raining for 40 days and nights. Also, I don't think there was any windows in the ark because God wanted to protect Noah from seeing everything which was going on out inside in the world, and it couldn't have been very nice. If there were no windows, it would have been really, really dark. Noah and his family would have to keep themselves busy and look after all those animals. But God also protected Noah from the animals attacking them. Or, if it was dark, Rebecca, do you think the animals were asleep?
I don't think they would be.
You never know. What would it be like if it rained all last week, all this week, the week after, the week after, the week after, the week after, the week after? There'd be a lot of water, wouldn't there? It would be flooded. We'd all have to stay inside. I bet Noah bored?
Maybe.
She's not really wanting to talk, you see. But I bet the brothers argued. Do you argue with your sister?
Kind of.
I bet they wished it stopped raining and the sun would shine. I bet they learned new ways of entertaining themselves. I bet they experimented with recipes and shared all the jobs. I bet they taught the animals tricks. Do you teach your doggies tricks?
Yes, I taught my dog high five.
High five! Wow! If I had an arm rod, because Miss Paula didn't bring arm rods, but that's fine because Miss Ella didn't tell her to, then I could have done a high five, but don't worry. Okay.
I'm doing high five.
High five! Yay! But you know what? Now we're all stuck inside our little arks. We all need to help each other, don't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what though? Living inside the ark didn't end after the rain stopped. Did you know that? The Bible tells us it rained so much that the entire world was flooded. Even the tallest mountain in the world was covered by lots of water. But God remembered his promise to Noah and his family.
Are you reading that from the Bible?
I'm not reading that from the Bible. Have you got a little Bible verse that you could read for us?
Yes, but I've lost it.
Well, we had a beautiful bookmark for you to read it, didn't you?
I know, but wait, put it on the table.
Oh, that was the only job you got given, wasn't it?
No.
Oh. Anyway, after the rain stopped, Noah and his family, they sent a raven out. Do you know what a raven is, Rebecca?
A raven is a raven.
Yeah, but do you know what it is?
It's a bird that's black.
That's right! And the raven came back.
I thought it was
Then
a dove.
no. He sent a black raven out first.
I'm sure.
Then, you've got the Bible there. Then he sent a dove out,
Oh yeah,
and the dove came back. But then he sent the dove out again, and the dove came back with an olive branch in its mouth. How awesome is that? And then Noah, they were allowed to get out of the ark because the rain had stopped and everything had dried up again. But do you know what? Noah and his family and all the animals had been in the ark for 100...
days.
No, not really.
Hours?
No, 1 whole year and 10 days.
Oh yeah, they were.
We've only got to stay in our houses for
3 months.
Maybe 3 weeks, but
If it's
maybe
3 months, we will
longer.
be-
But we've just got to be safe. That's all. So when we look at it, as long as we've got each other in our own little homes, then we're okay. We should stay in our homes because we don't want to infect anybody else with this horrible virus, do we? Anyway, do you know what? God promises never to destroy the world at flood again. And do you know what he did?
What was the thing where I was meant to read from?
It was Ecclesiastes. It's in the Old Testament. Anyway, God promised that he wouldn't flood the earth again, and he sent a beautiful rainbow. But do you know what? God does promises and he doesn't break them. Sometimes we do promises, don't we, Miss Rebecca?
Yes, we do.
And sometimes we break them, don't we? Which isn't good, is it? But when in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes, in 5:5, it says, what does it say, Miss Rebecca?
It is better not to vow than to
Vow, but aqua.
vow and not fulfill it.
Fulfill. I thought you could read.
I can read.
Yes. Are they just difficult words? Oh, you haven't got your glasses on. Do you want to borrow mine?
I'll
No, because then I can't see.
I'll
Anyway, what is better than making a promise you can't keep?
I don't know.
It's better to say nothing, not to make a promise at all if you know that you 100 billion trillion % can't keep it. Let's say goodbye, Rebecca, shall we? But remember, don't do a promise if you can't keep it, but God keeps his promises all the time. How awesome is that?
Good. If you do stay for 3 months, then I'll go into year 4.
Year 4.
Are you in year
I'm-
1?
Yes, I am in year 1. How did she know?
So you're going into year 2.
I am going into year 2. But, do you know what? We can have lots of fun while we're learning at home. Let's go. We've got lots of stuff to do because we've finished all our work now, haven't we? Whoop!